Well, it seems like Don Lemon isn't enjoying things over at CNN. The anchor found himself in hot water after he made comments last month about Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley in regards to her age.
Politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Those remarks saw the former primetime anchor being labelled a sexist and a misogynist. It was reported that his own co-host, Poppy Harlow and Kaitlin Collins, weren't impressed with Lemon, so much so that he now apparently thinks he's being ganged up on. According to RadarOnline, close sources of the situation have said the tension hasn't improved over at the network. Don is acting like he's the victim. He is very quiet behind the scenes. He is moping around the joint like he's the one who has been wronged. Another insider revealed Poppy and Kaitlin have buddied up and the bond between them is stronger than ever. The source continued, while they have publicly taken Don at his word and that he is truly sorry about what he said, the reality is that the relationship between the three of them had been fractured for many weeks before. Poppy and Kaitlin had private discussions about the situation and are both on the same page. There is a movement rising inside CNN and it isn't in support of Don. There is a lot to be said about the strength of two women who have risen through the ranks. It is not that they don't like Don, they do, and they don't find him entirely offensive, but they also realise the power of their positions. When Don Lemon made the comments, he wasn't on air for a few days after that. He did issue an apology on Twitter, writing, "The reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it. A woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day." Before the host returned to his morning show, he issued another apology tweet. "To my network, my colleagues and our incredible audience, I'm sorry. I've heard you, I'm learning from you, and I'm committed to doing better." But Don Lemon's colleagues seem to have not been in support of him. A few weeks ago, a source told RadarOnline that he has a colossal ego and he's the kind of person who goes around saying he's not going to take the fall for his show flopping and it's not his fault and the network's tanking and they shouldn't have pushed him out of his primetime slot. The source continued, "The ratings are way down. The new boss is implementing tough new rules and no one is happy. All these people were pampered with perks and pats on the back until now, and all of a sudden Don, Wolf Blitzer and others are at a point of yikes, we're in trouble." CNN CEO Chris Licht hadn't been shy in making multiple changes to the network since he took over in February last year. Not only did a few polarising names move on from CNN, but he also vowed to crack down on any left-leaning bias. He told staff that Don Lemon's comments about Nikki Haley were upsetting, unacceptable and unfair to his co-host and ultimately a huge distraction to the great work of this organisation. It was later revealed by the Washington Examiner that Chris Licht had forced the host to sit formal training over the sexist remarks. A memo sent to staff read, "I sat down with Don and had a frank and meaningful conversation. He has agreed to participate in formal training as well as continuing to listen and learn. We take this situation very seriously. It is important to me that CNN balances accountability with fostering a culture in which people can own, learn and grow from their mistakes."